Okay. All right. All right. All right. It is Tuesday night. Good evening, everyone. All right. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, and it must be Tuesday or Thursday night. But tonight we're going to have a literary conversation with KL. So if this is your first time watching me, what I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays is I have a literary conversation about my works, and I am a published author, five-time published author, who has also been a contributor to a handful of anthologies. I believe it is six. Let me just do the math. One, two, three, four. Yes, I've been a contributor to six anthologies. One is an award winner, Soul of a Man, and I was invited back to do Soul of a Man 2. And so what I do is when I come on, it is really just to share with you things that I've learned in the 13 years that I've been in the self-publishing business. Also to give my book some type of context and really just to have some fun for a half an hour. Tuesdays and Thursday nights is partially about vanity to a degree because I just wanted to reclaim my passion. So this is why I'm here. Now, let me just fill you in. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping before I get into tonight's conversation. I am streaming on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as Periscope. And so I cannot see you if you are watching, only if you pop in the chat room. So you can always stop in and say hello or shout out an emoji. Thumbs up is good, or number one. Now, if you're watching on Periscope, make sure that you tap the screen, you give some hearts. That lets me know that you like the content. And if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, by all means, you can like what we got going on here. And again, remember, I would love to know who is watching me. So just tune in the chat room. And when you pop up in the chat room, I will shout you out to let you know that I see you and that I appreciate you taking the time out to watch. And so a literary conversation with KL is every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Now, if you were used to watching me on the other time, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10 o'clock, that's Unapologetically Keith. That's where we deal with relationships, crisis, and things of that nature. So tonight, I am wearing my literary hat, my author's hat. So what I want to discuss tonight with you, let me bring that up for you to show you what we'll be discussing tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about how to turn your live streaming into a book. Now, I don't know if that's something that you've ever thought about, but it is definitely something that you can do. I'm going to explain to you how you can do that and give you some clips from the book that I created that way. Let me give you a little bit about myself. Excuse me one second. You never have enough water. Okay. So I started writing professionally in 2007. I published my first book in 2008. I started my publishing company, Braven Publishing, in 2010. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 published books to my credit. But through my company, we have worked on over 53 books now, 53 or 54. So take my 5 off the table. It's been about 49 other books that we've worked on over the 10-year period. I'm quite proud of that because it is just my wife and I, we are really and truly a mom and pop operation. And actually, I've been blessed by the Lord to be able to keep that going. So again, if you're just joining me, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, author Keith K.L. Belvin, going by just one of my writing names, which is just KL. That is what I used to write under. And if you ever do a Google search for KL the writer, that is me. So again, by all means, if you're watching, feel free to pop in the chat room. Let me know that you're there and I'll shout you out. All right. Now, give you a little something on the background of my books. My first book was poetry. My first book was poetry called The Man in Transition. We actually did a show about that. You can always check out YouTube and find that video. I actually show you how to sell poetry in that video. My second book was called From Gigolo to Jesus, which is my memoir. My third book, which was called Lukewarm Saint. Lukewarm Saint is inspirational fiction. My fourth book is Our Bond is Our Gift, an interpersonal look at relationships. That is self-help. And then my most recent, a couple of months ago, I did a short romantic story, about 7,000 words, a romantic short. That's an ebook, and that was called The Choice, a Love Story. Now, the book that I want to talk about tonight, well, actually, let me share this with you. I think what happens when a lot of people say that they want to write a book, and I hear it all the time, Keith, I want to write a book, I got a good idea. You probably do. But there's a lot that goes into writing a book, and you really have to consider what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And what I mean by that is, I think the biggest misconception is people think that writing a book is easy. It is not difficult, but it's not easy. And what I mean by that is you really have to sit down and decide, I got to get this book completed, and then you can let the editors and everybody else go to work. So often people say, I've been writing since high school. Okay, just writing randomly doesn't mean that you have enough for a book. And then most people have enough for a book, but they don't know how to organize it. So with From Gigolo to Jesus, I verbally recorded all of the chapters, and then I had them transcribed, and then I put the book together, had it published. So I've gone that route. Lukewarm Saint, I did the traditional way. Sat down at my computer, took me a while, wrote it, had an outline, wrote to my outline, published it. My first book, A Man in Transition, was a collection of poems and things that I had on the internet and other places. So I decided to gather them all up, put them into some type of theme, and I went on and published that. But the one that I'm very impressed with is this one here. And this is the one that is the focus for tonight, guys. All right. Our Bond is Our Gift, an interpersonal look at relationships. All right. Cover was done by Gregory Graphics out of Philadelphia. Okay. And with this one, because I'm dealing with relationships, what's the stickiness on the cover? I don't like that. Okay. With this one, when we came up with the design idea, I told him I want something that's all inclusive. Hey, Kira. I said I wanted something that was all inclusive. I wanted something that whoever picked the book up would feel good about picking it up. So as you see, I got a little bit of everything on here. I got a little bit of everybody on here. I got brothers, sisters. I got some, yeah, there's one Caucasian on there too. Yes, I got one Caucasian on there. I got a little bit of everything on here because I wanted everybody to feel included in the work, because with relationships are any association or interaction that we have with other people, and it can look in various different forms. So I got the idea. I was watching, I was on Periscope hot and heavy a few years back, and then I fell off. So I was sitting down and trying to think of how can I create something that's going to address relationships. And I was sitting there trying to figure out what I was going to write and everything like that. And Kira, how are we doing tonight? Give me a 1 if you're doing good tonight, Kira. And anybody else that's joined me, that's watching, feel free to let me know that you're there by popping in the chat room and just let me know you're in, and I will shout you out. So then it dawned on me, wait a minute. I have a ton of videos that I've done on Facebook Live, Periscope Live. And at that time, it was really just rocking on Periscope back in 2015, I think I started on Periscope even before that. But I was on Periscope kind of when it first hit, and I was having a ball with it. And then when Facebook Live came, I kind of shifted and was doing Facebook Lives as well. Great to see that you're doing okay, Kira. And so when I was sitting down trying to think, what can I do about relationships? Then I realized I have all this content. So I was like, okay, how do I do this? What do I do? And I was like, you know what? I need to figure out what this is going to look like. And so I went back through all the videos that I had, and I used to save my Periscope videos onto YouTube. Hey, Kim, good to have you. Good to see you. I used to save my videos on YouTube, still do. So I went through all my YouTube videos, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take my videos and I'm going to turn them into a book. So now I had to figure, how am I going to do that? Well, I used, and I'm going to put it in the chat room, all right, because it's very important. I used a site called teamy.com. Hold on one second. There we go. Let me bring that up for you. And I'll bring this up for you. Okay, there we go. I use this website right here. Now, what you could do with this website, is you can take any audio or any visual, any video, any audio or any video, all right, any audio, any video file, upload it into the system. It will transcribe your audio or your video into a typed document. So you will now have a Word document of everything that you said, T to the Y, and you must add the Jones to it. Good to see you come through, brother. And if you're just joining me, let me pop back real quick, just give you a quick, I'm glad folks is here. This is what we're discussing tonight, how to turn your live streaming into a book. Our bond is our gift, an interpersonal look at relationships. That's this book right here. And some of you who are on live on a regular basis, you have enough to create a book. So as I was saying I looked at all these videos. I took, let me see, was it 13? Okay. So I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 videos, and I turned them into a document file. Now, what did I use? Right here, I'll give it to you again. It is called Temi.com. There we go, Temi.com. And what Temi does is that you can download your YouTube files, or you get the URL, put the URL into the Temi loader and load it up, and it will go ahead and transcribe the video for you. Now, you're only paying 5 or 6 cents per word, not much at all. And then boom. So I took the 13 videos. Now I have the docs. Now I can put the documents into some type of order. Now I have to go back and edit, clean out all the useless language to get to the meat. And now once I had that set up, I could then set up the introduction, set up everything else around it, because I do publish books. And then now I have it to send to the editor. But the good thing about that is I didn't have to do any writing. I had already did the videos. I had already spoke. So the content, the meat was already there. I just had to prepare it. And so the reason why I wanted to come on and share that with anybody watching tonight, and Kara, you with me, Kara, Kim, and Ty? Because the reason I wanted to share this is that too often we have great ideas, but then we don't do anything with them, or we let them sit there because we think that it's more difficult than it is. Now, like I said, it's not easy, but it's not that hard. You got to put some work in, because trust me, when you got to go through 13 different documents and clean out all the extra conversation and stuff like that, the hello Kim, hello Kira, hello Ty, T to the Y Jones, you got to clear all that out. There you go. Just check and make sure you guys are listening. When you got to clean all that out, it can be a little tedious, but the good thing about it is, you know, that when it's done, you have what you need to create your book. Okay. So once I did that, now it was, how do I set it up? Well, at that point, I am a publisher, so setting up the book was not going to be a problem. And what I found is that over the years, when I try to explain to people that may not do all the typing, I would say record it. That's how I did From Gigolo to Jesus. I wrote an outline and I recorded it. So I wanted to share that with you guys tonight, because once you have that into motion, you're going to find that it's not as difficult as it is to create your work. And if you have no content, well, then of course you got to get some. But the real question is, are you saving your content? Are you, once you come on live, once you do what you got to do, are you saving your content? So this way you can use that content for something later on. I have another program where I can take my content, and when I have a video, I can take the video and then download it into an MP4, which I can then edit or something like that if I need to use it. So there's pretty much everything that you can think of is out there that you can do something with. You just have to decide what it is and do a little bit of research. And for me, I try to stay in my lane. I don't try to climb in anybody else's lane, simply because when you try to climb in anybody else's lane, it can be very hectic. I'm not doing that. So what I do is, if anything starts I feel is getting away from me, I'll then go look up who I need. That's how I came across the Temi website, was because I said there's got to be a way to transcribe work, and I wasn't going to go to Fiverr and pay somebody unless I had to. And that's another thing too, is Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com, you can get people to do jobs for you just by telling them how much you're willing to pay. And I just did that with the cover to my young men's group. I needed somebody to put a professional spin on my mentor program, and so I said I only want to pay, what was it, $20? Yeah, I think it was $25. I got 32 offers. I wound it down to 5 people and went with the young lady I thought did the best job. It was great. So now, with our bond as our gift, let me give you an idea of some of the stuff that's in the book and what I wanted to give you. Okay, so I'm just going to run through some of the areas, and these are all videos that I did at the time. Anger and frustration, great motivators for change. Revealing your truth through transparency. The corruption of bad communication. When the rain won't go away. Handling the bad days. The importance of recreating yourself, which is something that I use quite often when I'm explaining folks how to make changes in their lives. The power of life and death in a word. Where's the fruit? Judging a tree by its fruit. Fixing men to heal their relationship. Why are young men angry? They are still out there. Good men, good women. Folks better work it out. That's the last one there. Now, let me give you something here. Okay, going on. I want to give you a little something from the book here, because what I did was I put the power of life and death in a word. And once you have things in place, and the same way I'm talking to you now could be an ebook if I wanted to turn it into an ebook, because I saved this right here, and I could take this half an hour and then save that. It's automatically going to be on YouTube. I take that URL, drop it into Temi, and everything that I talk about tonight will already be in digital form. Now I can take that and turn that digital form into what could be the outline. Thank you so much, Kara. I appreciate you. I can use that as an outline now if I want to do a webinar, or if I want to do a live conference, bring up parts of this and then have the outline for people to be able to follow and recreate what I'm talking now. Or I can turn this into a little small guide with the digital part too. And so this is what I do. And then some of the things here, like I'll give you a little piece from the book here. All right. The power of life and death in the word. Not too long ago, I realized something. Your whole life can be turned upside down on the words of another person. I had to go to family court to answer the allegations made by a family member. In talking to a person involved with social services, she explained the claims being made against me, and I grew angry. None of it was real, and I was wondering why my family member would place me in a lie of this magnitude. I will admit, initially I was letting my emotions get the best of me. The more I thought about those allegations, my wife reminded me things could grow worse if I don't check myself. I eventually returned to myself because I knew I had the truth on my side. I told myself I needed to lean on the truth and trust the Lord and have the Lord see me through this mess. When I went to court, I kept myself calm and I explained everything to the court-appointed lawyers assigned to my case. Again, I had to remind myself to remain calm as I was giving them the insight on who I was and the truth of what was going on here. In doing so, once we were able to see the judge and offer the information about this case and showing proof to the lies told, they realized all the information they were given from my family member was erroneous. At that moment, something struck my spirit. Even though I was happy They were able to figure out my situation. I wonder what would have happened to someone who wasn't able to calm themselves as I did. And that was a conversation I had live one night, but I can honestly tell you that when that happened, it did drive me crazy. And that was one of the things too, that when I was sitting down and trying to figure out this book, was that dealing with the relationship of family members. When a family member decides to lie and the power of a lie. I had a niece who she was fearful of getting in trouble for the situation that she was in, so she lied on her uncle. She figured, I don't really have a relationship with him, so I'll lie because they'll put all the heat on him. And I could have gotten a whole lot of trouble with the lie that she told. But I had to remind myself, and this is where faith comes in. And again, this is the power of your books. And what this has to do with creating your books is that becomes your motivation to get things done. When you hear me say that it's not that difficult, but it's not easy, but it's not that difficult. This is part of it too. You need internal motivation. The stuff inside the videos was my motivation to get this done. Also, what I did with this book, and it wasn't in the videos, I added this. At the end of every chapter, I add a self-reflection because I want the reader to take time to self-reflect, because that's what I do when situations happen, when I'm dealing with things. And I wanted this book to be able to express that. I wanted this book to act as a guide. So at the end of each chapter, I add a little self-reflection. This one is called Bonding with the Word. And then I added the scripture here from Matthew 5:37. Better let your yeses be yeses and your noes no, for whatever is more than these is the evil one. For whatever is more than these is the evil one, Matthew 5:37. And I wrote, our words matter. The words we say to ourselves, the words we speak to others, and the words we take in from external sources. Much like in the chapter on bad communication, you should reflect on how your words are used to help and hurt you on your journey. And then what words do you speak into your life? Do they fulfill or sustain you or crush you in your dreams? And so I read that because what I wanted to show you is that what you put in a book will help you stay focused. Trying to get it done can help you stay focused. And it is not that difficult. This book right here, Our Bond is Our Gift, was done by